Peace, peace to today's OG. It's your advisor. It's your tutor. That's all. Just coming to the men. This is a man's channel. Now, I do want to speak on, make a brief commentary on the late great Kevin Samuels, the passing of our brother. Um, I was asked to do a brief commentary and what I thought of the brother. I agreed with the brother. Um, those of us in the conscious community, we were already aware and on top of this problem and this issue. Um, there was a subculture that was already on top of this topic, 2004, 5, 6, somewhere around that area. What you have to understand is what the Nation of Islam did in the 30s and 40s. It brought back black masculinity and black manhood. It made the black man soldiers again. Kind of reminiscent in the spirit of the Zulus, if you know anything about that. And you go throughout history. You have Marcus Garvey saying, where's the black man's nation? Where's the black man's God? Islam, of course, Marcus Garvey was a student of Islam taught by Deuce Muhammad. So Islam has always sparked the black man's militancy via manhood and masculinity, and which is the foundation of this page of for today's OG. Now, brother Kevin was brought to the forefront or made public with those in the intellectual and spiritual community was always fighting. So this is why we refer to ourselves as 5%. We are the 5%ers, the poor righteous teachers. Playing your part or your role is about being civilized and refined and understanding how to pursue happiness and not be a savage. So me and some of the guys, we would joke and say, hey, these sisters gonna have to deal with Kevin or deal with a Muslim. Because again, that knowledge has always been present. He would often reference Shirazad Ali, and that his premise on the black women was from her, a Muslima, Islam. In her books on the Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman and Not Eating Pork, Islam has always been the catalyst for this. That means that the government, the FBI, the same way they infiltrated Black Panthers, you got to understand, Reagan and the gun laws of California was due to seeing those men with assault rifles. And by those men, I mean the Black Panthers. You have to understand that the government, the FBI, have always wanted to throw the counter shot to black manhood, the militancy. And they took the Moynihan report, which Kevin would also mention, and they took what he referred to as could be a solution. So you have Malcolm, you have Martin. Of course, Martin was always the safer pick. You had the black independents, and then you had Moynihan saying, save the black family by giving black men jobs. This was a counter. They took that report and used it to worsen the condition and the circumstance by pulling the woman away from the man. Engulfed her, conscripted her into the feminist movement. And this is the mess that you had today. like Kevin would say, 40 or 50 years of this. Now, in the red pill movement, the manosphere movement, white men, wealthy men, once the judges were neutralizing and throwing out the prenups, citing that most of those women signed that unaware, not intellectually capable of understanding. So in some cases that was thrown out. Then men started to go their own way. MGTOW, the MGTOW movement, men going their own way, never marrying again. This is what we're referring to in the 2008, 9, 10s, the 2013s. All of this been going on, but of course, our people were slow to the information. Our greatest gift of adapting is also our worst curse. Adapting. Men adapted to this mistreatment, to this condition. We were made to believe that there was no hope. There was no hope. You always had the Muslims breaking out. You always had the conscious community breaking out. You had a few people breaking out. Patrice, I think, the comedian. You had all of these remnants of these breakouts because they understood the uncheckable, uncontrollable behavior of women. They understood the passive aggressiveness, the microaggressions, the mistreatment. And the rest of the men understood it. They just didn't have no tools to fight it. And one thing the enemy always does is make you think your problem is just your problem. He keeps you from believing and understanding that there are many going through what you're going through. See, Kevin blessed us with his visual, his show, and allowed us to see that everybody was going through this. Quick note, I can remember the first show I saw. He was talking to women from as far as Seattle to Boston, Texas, Oklahoma, Atlanta, and they were sounding like women I was talking to in the Midwest. And I could not believe it that these women shared the same motivation, the same behavior all over the country because of these tropes, these cliches, and these themes. He just put it on display. He just put it on blast. Now again, the men who are high in spiritual civilization and intellectual maturity, we've always been fighting this fight. It is what my brother would call the simp empire. He prefers to it as the simp empire. But what it is if we keep it on the high civilized level, it's the 85%. Majority of the people didn't have a way out, didn't have no knowledge. They didn't pay attention to what was really happening. But Kevin put it all on display. If you were not going to come to the conscious community, if you were not going to come to the Muslims, then yeah, you needed to listen to Kevin. Because some of that simping, some of that womanism came into the mosque, came into the conscious community, and most of the time by agents. There was an agent in the conscious community trying to say the black woman is God over the man. All of that has been destroyed. There's no record or proof of none of that. But that's the type of simping that came in. That the black man would never be represented as he truly is. Just look at the chessboard. She's more powerful, but you're more important. And you have to view yourself like that. And when you understand that the power is there, in order for you to tap into that power, in order for you to cultivate that uranium for nuclear power, you have to have a measure of access and a measure of control to do so. Just think about that. Again, this is for today's OG. I am your tutor. I am your advisor in the welfare of